If you're human, at one point or another, you have slid backwards a little bit on your goals, or maybe even a lot on your goals. So, why does that happen and what can we do about it? So, to illustrate this, I want to talk about how I, in January, learned to complete the Rubik's Cube, the entire Rubik's Cube. Before that, I only knew how to do one side. So, throughout January and February, I probably completed the Rubik's Cube about 200 times after learning how to do it. I picked up the Rubik's Cube a couple days ago, and lo and behold, I could get far, but not all the way. I I can't remember the last maybe 3 or 4 steps, okay? How could that happen? I did it 200 times in January or February. So I could blame the Rubik's Cube and say it's broken, or I could blame the instructions and say they must have been bad instructions and they only lasted for a little while. They only worked for a little bit. Or I could go the other route and I could blame myself. And I could say, there must be something wrong with me. I must have some screws loose in my head that don't retain information. I'm faulty. Okay? We know that none of those are true, right? What happened? It was a new skill. Okay? It wasn't a skill that I haven't been doing the Rubik's Cube for 10 years and set it aside for a month, or even a year and set it aside for a month. I'd been doing it for about, a few weeks and then stopped practicing it. So that is what happens. When we stop practicing our skills, they just get a little bit rusty, and the old skills or the lack of skills starts to come back in. There's nothing wrong with us or the program or the steps that we need to take. It's just that we kind of quit practicing them. So what can we do? Well, the first thing I'd do is I'd probably go read my instructions again, right? Or let's say I had a friend who taught me, the first thing I would do is I would go talk with that friend and say, hey, real quick, can you remind me? Now, having a Rubik's Cube and being able to complete a Rubik's Cube does not change my life. It does not increase the quality of my life. And it also is a little bit more simple than our health journey, right? So the analogy breaks up a little bit at some point. But the most important thing I want you to know is there's no sense in blaming, shaming, or justifying. All of that is wasted energy. Instead, have faith in yourself. Don't give up. That's the only time you can fail is if you give up. So our first step, why don't you give me a call, text, email, smoke screen, or it's not smoke screen, but smoke signal, anything along the way, and let me know where you're at, kind of where you might be doing awesome and want to make sure you're staying awesome, or you might be starting that journey sliding back, or honestly, you may feel like you've slid far back. It's okay. No blaming, justifying, or shaming. Instead, we're going to create health and we're going to move forward. I am so looking forward to doing that with you. Let's do it.